Hi, it's a 5 minute friend Charles GP. We welcome you to the 52nd edition of the program 5 Minute Talk, brought to you by Light to Youth, helping youth in their walk with God. Today we are going to be looking at sexual purity, keeping sex in God's design, in continuation of our series on sex talk. So what exactly is sexual purity? Well, as I already said, sexual purity is keeping sex within God's design. What is God's design? Like I said in our previous edition, God's design for sex is that it is meant for one man, one woman in the confine of marriage. That is God's design. So, and sexual purity is more than just avoiding sex or having sex within marriage. It's also about controlling our mind. It's also about guarding our hearts. And how can we do that? We have to guard the things that we see and the things that we hear. We should not just go about watching any video or seeing any images. That should not be the case. Or listening to any song or any talks around us. We should be careful as to the people we give our ears to, the things we give our eyes to. We should be very watchful on the things that we see and the things that we hear. And the book of Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23 to verse 26 really put this into perspective. If you read verse 23, it tells us to guard our hearts. You know, the word lied to us that we should follow our hearts. But if there is anything that you shouldn't trust on this earth, I will tell you, it's your heart. Don't trust your heart. Guard it. Don't do things because you feel like doing it, or you don't decide not to do things because you don't feel like doing it. Your decision on doing things or not doing things should be based on what is right and what is wrong. That is what we should follow, not our heart. We should follow Christ. We should follow the example of Christ, not our hearts. Instead, we should guard it. And we only guard our hearts if we go back to the things that we see and the things that we hear. And verse 24 tells us to avoid perverse talks. I mean, the things that we discuss as Christians, we should be watchful. We should be careful as to the sort of discussion that we engage in. You know, most often, in Christian communities nowadays, you will hear them discussing things they ought not to be discussing. Perverse talks. If you try to bring something Bible related, they will say, this is not church. But here they are, enjoying themselves, indulging themselves in perverse talks. Things that will take them far from God. And verse 25 tells us to look straight ahead. So we should look straight ahead. And this is especially for men. I mean, don't be distracted. Not because you think a girl is maybe she has dressed and she's very hot, like she's showing all of her features in her, dress, in her clothes or whatever, and you think that she's sexy. You are all distracted by that. Your eyes are all focused on her. You see her as she takes a step away. That should not be the case. Control your eyes, brothers. Control your eyes. Keep your focus. Keep your focus. Don't be distracted. Don't be distracted. And the next thing, verse 26, it tells us to stay on the safe path. And staying on the safe path includes controlling what we see and what we hear. And we have to examine our life. Like Paul says, we should be on our alert when it comes to the sin that easily takes us away from God. The sin that easily grabs us down. We should be on our alert. We know our weaknesses. We know our areas of weakness. So we should be very, very, very vigilant when it comes to these areas. We should ask ourselves, who are the people I'm with when I'm doing this? Where can I be? Where? What are the places? What can I be doing? What are the activities I'm involved in? What are my engagement when I see myself doing this thing? It's very, very important that we examine our lives to see what is getting us close to God and what are the things that are taking us away from God. So that the things that are taking us away from God, we can avoid them by the grace of God. And the things that are getting us more and more close to God, we can pay attention to those things. Or the people that are helping us in our Christian world, we can be with those people. And or the people that are trying to take us away, we can see what we can do about our interaction with those people. Thank you very much for being with me on the 52nd edition of the program 5-Minute Talk, brought to you by Light to Youth, helping youth in their walk with God. I have been your 5-minute friend, Charles G. Peary.